Hello everyone, this is Shiggy Mega, and I'm gonna help you get through the 11 mile ritual. I personally don't think I can do much to help you with this one simply because of the fact of all that it's needed and the fact that you have to be a complete and total psychopath to even bother with this one. Whatever you want that brought you to this ritual, I only hope it's worth it. So, what is it that you want? Money? Power? Someone dead? Someone healed? You might be able to get it with this ritual, assuming you meet the requirements. Now, you're gonna have to want whatever it is that is you desire. You have to be literally obsessed with getting this. This will be important for the ritual. So, figure out what it is you want, and we can see about getting you what you desire most. Now, I can state some things you'll probably need, like, food, water, stuff like that. Wouldn't recommend it though. Probably better off starving to death should you fail in certain areas. Just saying. You will, however, need a heavy duty goose feather coat. Nothing cheap. Or actually, get some winter gear. Like for climbing Mount Everest levels of winter gear. Seriously, it gets cold as fuck on this road, and while freezing to death will probably be a better option, it's not exactly comfortable. I also would suggest off-road tires. Just something that can handle gravel, dirt, normal road, and ice. So, as long as you got those covered, you should be good. As for your vehicle, get a cheap $500 one or something like that. Actually, no, that's a bad idea. They tend to break down. Get a vehicle that's cheap, but what doesn't need a lot of maintenance. I guess it doesn't exactly have to be new. It can be used, because you don't want to use a nice car for this type of ritual. You're going to be going through a forest area, and there's a high chance of your car being like messed up, dented, and all sorts of other horrible things, and you really don't want that on your Lamborghini or Ferrari. I would also recommend that it is a plain kind of car with plain colors. You're gonna have to do a bit of searching for this road, and it'll look suspicious for a car that stands out or something nice going up and down the street late at night constantly. Someone's gonna notice. So get something as nondescript as possible. Also, make sure it's a car with doors and windows. Like, while it's possible to actually perform the ritual on a motorbike or anything of the like, I wouldn't recommend it simply because of the fact it will be harder for you and you will literally die a lot faster as a result. Now, I suggest switching out the high beams of your car with something really bright. It probably won't make much of a difference, but brighter the better in this case. Also, you're gonna need a blindfold and some noise canceling, like headphones or something. Mostly because of the fact that there is a section of the road where, you know what? I'm not even gonna tell you. Not yet. I suggest putting the items in question, if you decide to bring anything extra, in the passenger seat next to you. Like, set it up to where it is a flat surface of some sort and you don't have to worry about it shifting around and falling. Also, don't bring any electronics for this particular thing, and make sure you're alone. Trust me, you don't want another person with this. I recommend being alone for this because you don't want to subject someone else to this kind of torture. You'd feel horrible knowing that you were the cause of someone else's death. So, common sense, go alone. Now then, here's something you might want to remove from your car. Any reflective surface that is not your window should not be in your car or on your car. There are some things that you do not need to see, and if you see them, it will kill you. So remove them now. Did you remove them? Alright then. If you haven't, fuck you. Second thing, you gotta remove the radio. If you have any type of radio, I don't care if it's satellite radio, remove it from the car. Rip it out. Cut the wires. Whatever. You do not need that in your vehicle, and having it in there is guaranteed to get your ass killed. Take it out. Seriously. I will hurt you. Now, I could tell you to like persevere and to imagine what it is you want the most to get through it. Just remove the fucking radio. Seriously, just remove it. Not hard. It's one of the easiest things to remove from a car. That's why they're stolen all the time. It doesn't take much to remove a radio. It really doesn't. Alright, finally, make sure you do this shit at night. Again, this is gonna look suspicious as fuck of a random car going up and down a street, highway, dirt road, whatever. But if it's late at night, there's less drivers. So people will care a little less. Try not to go crazy with it though. You don't want to get pulled over or anything like that. Alright, moving on. Alright, earlier I said that you needed to need whatever the greatest desire happens to be. The reason being is that this is how you will get the road to appear, or, better way to put it, this is how you'll be able to find it. If you want riches, you'll see glittering pieces floating around. Like, it'll look like, basically the grass will sparkle, the road will sparkle a bit, and like maybe you'll hear the sound of coins. If you want love, you'll see like rose petals floating in the direction of the road. If you want someone dead, like the psychopath you are, or want vengeance for some type of slight, imagined or non, then you're gonna feel white hot anger coursing through your veins the closer you get to the road. More angry you get, the closer you are to getting there. Simple as that. Not much. There are some things to keep in mind should you ignore anything that I've stated before. Don't turn on the radio. Keep that shit off. It's nothing worth listening to anyway, and all it is blaring static. Don't use your cell phone. No reception here. You're not supposed to talk and drive anyway, so keep it in your pocket. Or, do as I said earlier. Just don't bring it at all, and remove the radio. Seriously. Don't exceed 30 miles per hour unless you're desperate to get through a particular stretch of road. Then again, if you're not careful, you'll likely end up dead faster than the last idiot that fell this road. Seriously. Just try not to go too fast. The roads get winding as it goes on, and it's better safe than sorry. And, most importantly, sort of, buckle up like a good driver. There may not be no clicking and ticket here, but the alternative is much worse should you get hurt or killed. Finally, the first mile of this road is the only time you will be able to turn your ass around should you change your mind. Once you passed 1 mile, any attempts to turn around will be futile. You will either crash or you will find yourself on a unending road until your gas runs out and you freeze to death. Just saying. Now that you've decided to go down this road and you have completed the first mile, despite my warnings, you will eventually come across a second one. You can no longer turn around. Should you try to, you will die. Now then, third mile, you will see shadows of human figures lining the trees. Ignore them. If they get closer, ignore them. If they for some reason step in front of your car, run them over while ignoring them. If you can't resist, keep in mind that they'll appear later. Just keep driving. Ignore their asses. Not worth it. Mile 4 will have you hearing these bastards. Ignore them. You don't want them near you. Trust me. And if you focus on them, they'll get closer. Just tune them out. It's stated that focusing on your goal helps. Usually I'd be all like, have your phone to listen to like tunes or something like that, but that technically counts as a radio. And yeah, you don't want that active on here. On top of that, electronics don't seem to work in this area all that well unless it's to fuck with you. It's a ritual pasta, people. You can't trust anything, not even your phone. Just saying. Mile 5 will have you at a really nice lake to the side. It's going to be a moon over it. It's going to look real pretty. Ignore that shit. If you stare at the moon or the lake for too long, you will literally end up in the lake and you will freeze to death in minutes. Ignore that. Scenery is not even that nice. I've seen better postcards. Good news though, the voices will stop at this point. They'll be back later, but the break is nice, I guess. Alright, at mile 6, take a couple seconds to be happy. You're more than halfway through the road at this point, because I'm assuming you're still driving. Despite progress though, you have a chance of losing heart here and dying. The sky will be blank, ain't gonna be no stars and nothing up there, and you'll be in the woods again. If you didn't have the radio off, it will screech and you'll likely end up being driven off the road from the shock. And, as before, you'll slowly freeze to death. Yeah, bet you had to wish you removed that radio earlier. For those that did remove the radio when I told them to, or just had it off, congratulations, you get to live a little bit longer. If you had it off, it will turn on here. A voice will tell you about your worst fears, and it will do so in a way that you will visualize it. I would say ignore it, but it's frankly your own fault for having it still in your car. I told you to remove it. You didn't want to listen to me. Not my fault if you die here. You were warned. Good news though, if you did not remove the radio for mile 6, the voice will eventually fade away, assuming you lived that long. On mile 7, the voices of the shadow people will return. It won't be whispers though. They're going to be shouting. Like, it's going to sound like someone shouting at you from down the street and then slowly getting closer and closer. But it's going to be more than one shout, so I guess it would technically be annoying. Also, one of them might get in your car. Ignore them. They're now backseat drivers. You ignore backseat drivers. Don't look at them and don't turn around either. Their faces will paralyze you and you'll drive off the road. This is why I said remove mirrors. If you can't see them, they can't freeze you. Remember how I said there was a fate worse than death if you left your car? This is a result of that. Each of these shadow people are those that failed the road and now rot here for eternity, looking to add another person to their ever-growing family. They can't touch you though. So as long as you don't swerve when they cut in front of you, then you'll be fine. They cut in front of you, fucking run them over. It's their own fault. They're dead. They don't care. They're not going to notice anything. Now, remember those heavy-duty lights I mentioned? Yeah, you're going to need them at this point. On mile 8, you got to slow down. If you're going too fast, yeah, this place takes sharp turns, and we don't want anything to happen to you. Maybe, sorta. I certainly do. Don't. I meant don't. I don't want anything to happen to you. Despite the fact that you're dumb enough to perform this ritual. If you survive, though, leave a comment down below. The creatures will start following you around, by the way, and your headlights will start flickering on and off. Now, if you crash here, pray it's the cold that kills you. Mile 9, your vehicle will stall. Headlights and other systems will shut off. Can't prevent this at all. This is literally where it's gonna happen. Sorry, dudes, I can't help you here with this one. But you can, however, start your car back up. Close your eyes and start revving your car. At this point, these things are going to try to surround you. This is why I say close your eyes. If you haven't done it earlier, switch over to high beams. When your car finally turns on, the light will literally startle them and send them away from you. Use this time to speed out of there, but still be careful. There's sharp turns around this place, and you don't want to end up trying to escape them just to end up in the tree line. They'll laugh at you. I'll laugh at you. We're all laughing at you as you slowly die. Just go fast enough to get the hell out of there, but slow enough to stay on the road. So about 40. At mile 10, the voices will begin to stop. People have stated that the shadow people are watching you at this point. Supposedly they're going to be on either side of the road as well. Just don't pay attention to them, you'll be fine. But apparently they're not going to do anything to you. Some say they're watching you and seeing you off. Others say that they're impressed that you've made it this far. Those people are dead now. They're not seeing you off. They don't give a flying slippery fuck about you being on this road, but they are excited. Mostly because of the fact that you're reaching the stretch of road that will guarantee your downfall. You are more than likely going to die on the next road. And that is what they're waiting for. Alright, the last mile, everything will shut off like mile 9, but the car will still be moving. Any noise cancellation ear protection that you have, put them on now. If you're wearing winter gear, take it off now. If you bothered getting the blindfold, put it on now. I can't really do much for you on this stretch of road. The car is moving on its own, so you don't have to worry about that. But the ritual stresses upon not seeing what is going on once you reach that light. Hence why I mentioned the blindfold. It just states that you need to keep your eyes closed. If you can't see or hear anything, you're not going to be curious. I don't know if the noise cancellation will help. Maybe it'll lessen it a bit. The reason why I say this is because this section of road has literally been dubbed a section of hell. So, for all I know, the ear protection will be completely useless. But at least you'll have something to focus on other than the screaming around you. This is supposed to last 31 seconds exactly. No more, no less. So try to hold out. Count in your head if you have to. Just keep your eyes shut. After it's done, the power will return to the car, but I recommend you stop here. Ride the brake if you have to, honestly, so you can feel the stop, if only to get your bearings. Let the screaming fade out of your ears, let the heat fade from your skin, and regain some sanity points. Once you've taken that deep breath, suck it up and move forward. Soon you'll reach a dead end. Stop your car here. It's cool, you're safe in this spot. Now at this point, close your eyes and imagine what it is you want. Don't be shocked if it's changed though. The point of the road is to see if you are worthy of getting your wish, not the specifics of the wish. The only reason why you needed to desire your wish earlier is so you could find the road. After the hell you've been through though, a lot of the times the wish is going to change. Like I said, the road is mostly just to prove that you're worthy of it. If you weren't, you would have died. Simple as that. Once you fully visualized what it is you want, open your eyes and you'll be back at the beginning of the road. If you wanted something small, then it might be in your pocket or somewhere in your car. Glove box, compartment, pimp stool, that little armrest thing. Whatever you call it, it's probably in there somewhere. If it's material and big enough, like say like a stacks of cash, maybe some gold, jewelry, whatever, check your trunk, the rest of your car, or your house. It's probably there too. If it's something like love, then wait a couple days. They gotta set that up for you. That's a bit more complicated than something material. Vengeance is a little bit easier, because by the time you made it back to where you came from, you will find your enemy in the most satisfying revenge ever. Or at least the most satisfying in your eyes. So, guess that only leaves one question. Do you want anything else? Do you not like your prize? Then buckle up your seatbelt and drive forward. The road's right there. Fucking idiot.